Hello. It's time for Mindful Music Moments. And this week we're listening to an Alpine Symphony, the 21st movement, which is the finale. It was composed by Richard Strauss between 1911 and 1915. And it comes to us thanks to our partner, the Cleveland Orchestra. Strauss was a German composer during the late Romantic period. This music depicts 11 hours from sunrise to sunset spent climbing an alpine mountain. The selection we will hear this week is the finale, just after the sun sets at the top of a mountain. So let's get ready to listen. Put your feet on the floor, hands on your lap or on your desk. Sit up nice and tall. Close your eyes or softly focus them. And find your breath moving in your body. For our first listen, let's get a feel for this music. Notice, how does it make you feel in your body? Fantastic job. We'll be back tomorrow with more mindful music moments from the Cleveland Orchestra.
Good evening, even though it's very clearly the afternoon. Welcome to UCS Good News. It's our weekly live broadcast where we highlight positive news stories from all over the school community. And this week, Just like last week, we reached out to you, your pumpkin spice, your maple, your caramel apple. We asked you to share the good news, and the response was awesomely autumnal. We always say on the show that we get to share the good news, but you are the good news. So on behalf of myself, the entire UCSGN crew, and everybody out there celebrating sweater weather, we want to say thank you to everybody who submitted a positive news story this week. And with that, it's time for some good news. All right, let's start here. It was election week this week. To get in on the action, Miss Harrison's class learned about democracy while studying ancient Greece. The students then had the chance to vote on which cookie tastes better, chocolate chip or Oreo. Significant grudge match here. Oreo won landslide with 80% of the votes, 16 total votes. The runner-up, chocolate chip, had 4 votes, 20%, and 4 students were not present to vote. Here's some more ballot boxes here and here. Civics and cookies doesn't get any better than that. As you can see, these students are just adorable. All right, enough about that. It's fall, and we've been celebrating seasons all over the campus. Third graders Leah, Maisie, and Gussie proudly showed off their Halloween costumes. Some middle schoolers put their costumes on display here and here. Sadly, Mr. Taylor did not make my advice and go with the Lord helmet this year, maybe next year. Miss Antal's class had some great costumes, and I want to talk about it. So here we go. Yep, very impressive. And there we go. Some Pikachu inspired. All right, safety first, they always say. Kindergarten participated in Safety Town this week. Here are some kindergartners without hats. They can study safety if they want to. They don't leave their friends behind. Okay, learning to ride a bike safely around the course. Room 117 was also learning about Safety Town on the go. All right, time for a student and staff spotlight. Munir and Miss Swisher were honored on the court at the Cleveland Cavaliers versus Golden State Warriors game halftime show for their work with KPI, which promotes gender equality through sports. Wolf Camp was their first U.S. camp. Here they are, both on the Jumbotron and on the Gram. Mr. Joe wrote in to say, hello, my friend. Attached are some pictures I took at the Cavs-Warriors game of UCS being represented on the court and on the Jumbotron. And the Cavs got a big win, so let's talk about it on the good news. Okay, Mr. Joe, I will, and thank you for sharing. All right, time for a character study. As Miss Maitop's class finishes up their ancient Asian civilizations unit, they are practicing telling time. The students in room 218 were able to make clocks using Chinese characters to practice at home, and as you can see, they turned out great. All right, time to venture back into the Spider-Verse. Fifth.
Go, yep. Spider-Man.
Acrobatics on display. 5th grade student Alexander G. showed off his Spidey-Man skills
Nice
at recess. Thank you, Ms. Cooney. All right, time for some positive wolf howls, where we feature shout-outs to students who exemplify one of Urban's core values. Ms. Cooney gives a positive wolf howl to 5th grade student Carlos S. Carlos has been working hard in math class this week to master adding and subtracting, unlike fractions. He has been consistently on task, completing his assignments and participating in instruction. Rumor has it that he earned 100 wolf bucks in one math class. Lucrative. Keep up the good work, Carlos. All right. Also, this week's positive wolf howl from Miss French goes to all the teachers who have been using the shout-outs and celebrations Slack channel. It's great to see so many people acknowledging their colleagues. Thank you to Miss Moya, Miss Dillon, Miss Sharon, Mr. B, Miss Christina, and everybody else who used the Slack channel this week. Field trip season. We have some notes from the field to share. 5th grade students took a field trip to the Natural History Museum for a presentation on early civilizations. They found this pelt. The students had the opportunity to get hands-on experience with artifacts from several early civilizations. This sort of work requires a lot of trowel and error, I'm told. All right. Our buddies, wherever they go, we go. Let's celebrate some buddies here. 3rd graders enjoyed spending time with their pre-K buddies here and here. And also, it was another Mantis Monday on the playground this week. Big news Fourth graders found a praying mantis at recess. Wait a second. Hold on. Let's look at this thing a little closer. Yeah, just as I suspected. Okay, well, I guess the mantis has been featured on about 4 or 5 episodes this year, so it makes sense that he'd be settling in to the urban gear. And here he is hanging out with his best friend, Mr. T. All right, the right time for perfect pets is right meow. Roscoe. Here's Roscoe, Miss Mason's third grade room 221 class. He's got 2 dogs and a cat. This is Uggy. This is the cat, Sal. Sal does not look pleased to be not so photogenic here. And then Rocky, more photogenic, happier to be there. Thank you for sharing. All right. Isaac Okoro of the Cleveland Cavaliers had a strong start to the season, and he's needed all of his ice-cold intellectual ability to do it. Following in his frigid footsteps, here are the ice-cold intellectuals of the week. Here and here. Okay. Woo! Miss Britton and Miss Molly, honorary fashion police detectives, have been snapping photos of stylish UCS community members. Let's go to the photo roll. Here's Miss Journey, snapped. Keisha D, first grade teacher Miss M&M, rocking some custom Crocs. Josiah P in 5th grade, and Zen W with unique sock application. Let's see, and then this young lady with festive earrings and classic style. All right, now some news from the subject that counts. We have more marvelous mathematicians at UCS. Mila mastered subtraction onto multiplication with Margot. Miss Sharon helped 3rd grader Brianna with multiplication skills. Miss Cooney is adamant that it is low-key sus when you don't show your work. Somebody's going to have to explain that one to me. When solving math problems, stop by room 213 for an explanation. That wasn't the case for Arthur and Jelani, who neatly showed how he successfully solves adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. Time for Teamwork Makes the Dream Work, where we highlight UCS students working together to tackle a shared problem. 3rd graders Sebastian and Caitlin work together to read about the human ear. Love to hear what you found out. Twinning continues to be winning here at UCS. Both Mrs. Alicia and Mrs. Gill were wearing matching kicks this week. Very nice. Patrick and Lewis were twinning in their shoes. We had some totally twinning, unplanned twinning here. More twinning. All right, matching siblings here. And then Jasleen, Alyssa, and Kyra matching out on the playground. Sadly, everybody, no Simply the Vest this week, except for, of course, our standby here. But if you've got a vest picture, please share it. And we'll close home stretch here. Time for an update from Turtleback Farm, our outdoor classroom. Students have been learning about the ever so helpful earthworm in the outdoor classroom. Here are some muckrakers in training. These two look like soil mates. Here are some students doing their good seed for the day. And here's a gardening joke for you. What's small, red, and whispers? A horseradish. A horseradish. All right, big finish. We've been collecting footage of Mr. Von Figlio. His kids have been sending it in, and we've been developing gifts here. The fist bump, the begging Mr. B, Mr. B getting buff here. This came from Mr. Killings in middle school. Here is Mr. Bonfiglio doing a rendition of Everything is Awesome from the Lego Movie. Everything is awesome, or more awesome, now that we've done that. And then also just wanted the work continues here. Here's another one. I could watch this and this. Got to stretch it out there, stay limber. And this one, and then finishing with it with the heart. Very nice. Okay, that's it for this edition of UCS Good News. See you next week with all the latest good news.